What is up, guys? It is AJ from MMA Experts, and this is the UFC Vegas 11 weigh-in recap, predictions, and betting odds. Let's get into the first fight of the night. Tyson takes on Jerome Rivera. Both these guys came in excellent shape, looking lean. Tyson looking very shredded. You see the abs. Granted, Rivera looks good too. Not as good of an angle in this picture for him, but both these guys fairly thin, not super jacked. They're in good shape. I will say Rivera, you see there, has that height advantage, a little bit of a reach advantage as well. I think he's a really tricky matchup for Tyson Now, both these guys made weight. 136, Rivera 135. I really feel like this is almost a toss-up fight. I think Nam's power may make a difference here, but I really won't be surprised if the style of Jerome Rivera really throws off Tyson Nam. I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna pick I'm gonna pick Jerome Rivera by a split decision. I really think he could get the upset here. Let's get the odds up real quick for you guys. All right, so you see for Jerome Rivera, if you're looking to place a bet on him, the best place to go is Bet DSI. He's a plus 164 underdog there. If you're looking to make some money on Nam, you feel he's going to get it done, which he definitely could. He's the experienced veteran. He's a minus 170 favorite on 5 dimes. Should be a very fun fight. I'm really excited for this flyweight matchup, but let's move on to the next fight of the night. This one between Andre Ewell and Irwin Rivera. You see the wig for Ewell there. Interesting wig, interesting choice to wear that to weigh-ins. Rivera, a significant amount shorter and has shorter reach as well. Ewell comes in 134.5 and Rivera at 135.5. And also, guys, I actually messed up. The Tyson Nam fight is being contested at bantamweight. Excuse me on that one. I know Nam normally does fight down at flyweight and has fought at bantamweight as well. But this fight here between Rivera and Andre Ewell, also a bantamweight bout. Rivera 135.5. Ewell comes in a pound lighter at 134.5. I think it's an interesting matchup, but I do think Ewell's range will be a big factor in this one. I think that we see Ewell go on to a decision victory. I won't be surprised if it's a fairly competitive decision, but I do think unanimous, at least 2 rounds to 1, something like that, maybe a 29-28 all around the board. Now, let me pull up the betting odds for this fight here. Andre Ewell, the best place to bet on him. He's a minus 210 favorite on Bet Online. If you're looking to put money on the dog, Irwin Rivera, he's a plus 200 underdog over at 5 dimes. I really don't think Rivera gets it done, but he does definitely have a puncher's chance. He's a pretty explosive guy, but I really think Ewell goes on to win this fight by decision here. Now, next fight of the night is a pretty exciting one. TJ Laramie versus Darek Minor. Debut for, No, we have the wrong matchup. Sorry about that. This one here is Randy Costa versus Journey Newsome. That's the fight after this. Sorry about that. I was getting ahead of myself here. But this is a fun matchup. Randy Costa, the Zohan, long guy. Journey Newsome taking this fight short notice. He comes in with a ton of power. I actually think Newsome is going to go out there and knock out Randy Costa. I feel like he's going to hit him with something big, something over, like an overhand punch. I think that Costa leaves himself open a bit, and we see a knockout probably in round 1 or 2. I'm going to probably say round 2. I think they're going to feel each other out a bit in round 1, but I definitely do think they get to it after the first 2 minutes and have a pretty entertaining back and forth bout. Both these guys came in at 135, so the first 3 fights on this card are all bantamweight matchups. Both guys make weight at 135. Let me pull up the betting odds for this matchup as well. All right, Journey Newsome, he is a minus 124 favorite over on Bet Online if you're looking to bet on him. For Randy Costa, plus 115 underdog on 5 dimes and also on Sports Int. I think that Newsome gets it done. I think Costa does have a chance, but I really see Newsome getting it done, and obviously he's the favorite there, and the odds makers do agree. Now, let's get to the next matchup, the one that I jumped the gun about. TJ Laramie takes on the very tough Darek Minor, as we almost pulled up the wrong picture there. All right, so this matchup here is going to be a good one. TJ Laramie, shorter guy, less experience, but he's really a bright prospect. 22 years old, dominant performance on the Contender Series. Darek Minor has lost a couple fights. He comes to fight, though. He's a really tough guy. He's the most dangerous in that first round with a ton of first-round finishes. Both these guys hit 145 for TJ Laramie, and actually Darek Minor came in at 146, 1 pound over the 145 championship weight. I think that TJ Laramie, stoppage, round number 2 or 3. I think he's going to get this fight to the ground, work some good ground and pound. He's just got to be cautious in that first round because, Darrick Minor's no joke early on. He's very dangerous, and he has a really nice guillotine choke. All right, let's check the odds out here. For Darrick Minor, if you're looking to put money on him, he's a massive underdog at plus 275 over at 5 dimes. And then TJ Laramie, minus 305 favorite over at 5 dimes. If you're looking to put money on either guy, I'd check out the 5 dimes website and play some cash down on them. It's an interesting fight, but I really do feel strongly about Laramie winning, but I do disagree with the odds being as widespread as they are. There's definitely a chance for Darrick Minor here, but I do think Laramie, the bright prospect, goes out there and puts on a very impressive performance over the veteran Darrick Minor. Now, next fight of the night. This one should be a fun one in the women's bantamweight division. Very excited for this matchup here. You have Jessica Rose Clark versus Sarah Alpar. Alpar comes in 135.5, Rose Clark at 135. Both these girls have decent grappling skills. I definitely give the striking edge to Rose Clark, but Sarah Alpar has the better wrestling background. I believe she's gonna probably get this fight to the mat, work a lot of top control. A grinding type decision is what I'm predicting. I could see a unanimous or a split decision for Sarah Alpar, but I do see her getting the upset win over Jessica Rose Clark. But not that Rose Clark doesn't have a chance. She definitely does. She is the superior striker, but not a massive knockout artist, and I think Alpar is going to be able to withstand her striking attack. Looking at the odds, Alpar a plus 195 underdog on 5 dimes. If you're looking to put money on Jessica Rose Clark, the favorite, minus 210 over on Sportsbook. Very fun matchup, though, in this women's bantamweight division. Debut for Sarah Alpar. Let's see if we can get this to disappear here. Apologize for that, guys. Let's get to the next matchup. Romero Borella versus Mayra Bueno Silva. A ton of fights on this card. We have about 14 bouts, so pretty stacked here. All right, so fun matchup. Both these girls are tough. Borella, more of a journeywoman at this point, I'd consider her. I'd say that Bueno Silva is on the rise. Both these girls make weight. 125 for Borella, 125.5 for Mayra Bueno Silva. I'm going to be honest. I think Silva definitely gets it done. I could see a decision victory over the tough Borella or a knockout. I think that Mayra Bueno Silva's clinch game is dangerous, and I think she'll catch Borella with something in the clinch and probably stop her. In any of the 3 rounds. I'm not going to give you an exact pick. I could see it being later in the fight, definitely. Now let me pull up the betting odds here for this fight. Okay, Mayra Romero Borella. These names are almost similar too. 3 names, the battle of the 3 names here. To bet on Borella, go over to 5 dimes. She's a plus 230 underdog. Bueno Silva minus 250 favorite on a few sites, actually, on 5 dimes, on BetDSI, on Bet365, and also on Sportsbook. I'm pretty confident in that pick. I think that we're going to see Silva get it done. I think she's got a lot of potential in this sport. And Borella, is a tough journeywoman who definitely give a good test to Silva here. Now, moving up, still on the undercard, though, Mirsad Bektic takes on Damon Jackson. Damon Jackson stepped in on short notice for this fight. Big opportunity for him. He's a good fighter, 8-2 in his last 10, 6-1 in his last 7. Does have a brutal knockout loss over in the PFL in like 10 seconds, but it was a crazy circumstance. He got caught by a flying knee. I'm not really going to significantly hold that against him. Bektic, good fighter, good grappler, was definitely a hot prospect at one point. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think that we see an upset. Damon Jackson's a pretty good wrestler. You see he's the taller guy there, similar size, both in good shape. I think Damon Jackson comes in here and gets a big upset win over Mirsad Bektic. Let's check the betting odds out. Let's see how big of a dog he is. All right. Let's see. Mirsad Bektic. Do they not have the odds here? Wow. Okay, let me actually quickly pull up the fight odds website. Let's see if they put any odds for this fight. That's crazy that they're not up yet on Friday. I really think they should be. Let me look through this. Maybe I didn't see them. I don't know. I'm not seeing them. Wow, that's disappointing. No odds yet. Let me see. I'm gonna search. I'm gonna search for you guys because I really would like to get some betting odds between these two. Because honestly, it's a fight that might be worth a bet. Jackson versus Bektic odds. We may not be getting odds, guys. They may not be out. No, nothing's coming up. All right, I guess nothing's coming up as of now. If they do come up, I will put them in the comments. I don't know why there's no betting odds out. Maybe they'll be coming on fight day, but expect Damon Jackson to be a pretty big underdog and a possible good bet because I see him getting an upset unanimous decision win here over Mirsad Bektic. Now, moving on to the next fight, David Dvorak versus Jordan Espinosa. Fun flyweight bout here. David Dvorak, he's on like a big win streak, big foreign prospect. I would definitely consider him. Both these guys came in good shape, but Espinosa's muscle tone is very impressive. About the same height here for both these guys. I think it's a competitive matchup. I think it's back and forth. Dvorak 125.5, Espinosa 126. I think that we see Dvorak en route to a unanimous decision win over the very tough Jordan Espinosa. I think Espinosa's style is going to be tricky though, because he throws a lot of power, a lot of looping shots. I think that we're going to see Dvorak work his straights nicely, maybe even mix in a bit of ground attack en route to a very competitive unanimous decision win. Let's see the betting odds for this fight. I'm pretty sure they do have them. David Dvorak minus 105 to minus 105. So this fight's about pick'ems. The best place to bet is 5 dimes if you're looking to bet on either guy. Also, if you're just looking to bet on Dvorak, you could go to Sports Int. I really see Dvorak getting it done, but I do think it's extremely competitive, and that's why the odds are so close. Now, finally, we've made it to the main card. A ton of fights on this card. Absolutely great main card. Fun undercard, too. All right. First fight on the main card might be, for me, one of the fights I'm most looking forward to of the entire night. We have Kevin Holland versus Darren Stewart. This is a fun matchup. Both guys on weight, 185.5 for Stewart and 185 for Holland. I'm going to be honest, I think Holland gets the stoppage. I think he cracks Stewart, puts him out somewhere in round 2 or 3. I think first round is a bit competitive, but I think Holland will start establishing his range nicely and landing some big shots. I see the stoppage win for Kevin Holland all day long here. Looking at the odds, Kevin Holland a minus 250 favorite. Best place to bet on him is 5 dimes. Darren Stewart plus 230 dog. You can bet on him on 5 dimes or on Bet Online. I don't know. Darren Stewart definitely has a puncher's chance, but I think Kevin Holland's range is going to be way too much for Stewart, who you can see is shorter there, but the reach is also pretty substantially different here. At least 5 or 6 inches of reach difference. Now, next fight of the night, hot prospect Mackenzie Dern takes on the veteran Randa Markos. This is a fun one. I think that Mackenzie Dern has a ton of skill. Her jiu-jitsu is extremely high level. Does have that loss to Amanda Ribas, but Ribas has turned out to be a bit of a savage, and I see a ton of potential in her. I think Dern wins this one. I could see a submission, probably around round 2. If he gets past the second, maybe a third round submission, but I won't be surprised. Unanimous decision either. I know Markos said she does not want this fight on the ground, but I don't think she poses much of a threat on the feet to Mackenzie Dern. Dern is a girl with big power, especially for a jiu-jitsu, mainly jiu-jitsu practitioner, has developed some big power in her hands. I think Dern dominates this fight and gets the win here. I don't really think Randa Markos has much of a chance. Her submission game is solid, but I don't see her tapping Mackenzie Dern here. Looking at the odds, Mackenzie Dern minus 160 favorite. You can bet on her on 5 dimes or Bet Online. Randa Markos plus 150 underdog on 5 dimes. I don't see her getting the upset. And honestly, it's not worth enough money for the risk here. I see her getting dominated here in this matchup. I think it's matchup between aging vet and up-and-coming prospect, and I think the prospect will prevail here. Now, next fight. This is a very exciting fight in the light heavyweight division. I would say 2 hot prospects, Johnny Walker versus Ryan Spann. Yes, Johnny Walker has lost his last 2. Ryan Spann on a good win streak, but did have an iffy performance against Sam Alvey. Still, with that all being said, fun fight here. Both guys on weight, 205.5 for Ryan Spann. Johnny Walker at 205.5 as well. I think Walker gets the knockout in the first or second round. I think he really does need to be cautious, though, because Ryan Spann is a very crafty veteran of this game, and he has taken losses himself. Ryan Spann is not an undefeated guy, which, he's going to have experience in bad positions. So Johnny Walker better not go too crazy and gas himself out here. I think he needs to respect Ryan Spann. But with that being said, if he's patient enough, I think late first round or even late second round knockout victory is highly, highly likely for him here. Let's pull up the betting odds for this exciting light heavyweight matchup. Johnny Walker, a minus 120 favorite. You can bet on him on 5 dimes. Ryan Spann, looking to put money down on him, plus 115 underdog on Sports Int. I'm going to be honest, I think that we see a Johnny Walker victory. Not a substantial favorite, understandably so. I mean, Ryan Spann's on a good win streak and has looked really good as of late. Besides, I mean, the Sam Alvey second and third round. I mean, he still won the fight, but he did have a bit of trouble with the aging vet, Sam Alvey. Well, let's move on to the next fight of the night. Khamzat Chimaev versus Gerald Meerschaert. I've talked a lot about Khamzat Chimaev. I see a lot of potential in him. I feel like people might say, oh, you're just hopping on the hype train, but I was on the hype train before the hype train really started getting going. I saw him fight outside the octagon. He had a ton of skill. And then when, he came over to the UFC, he was super impressive. Destruction of John Phillips and destruction of Rise McKee. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think that Meerschaert gets dominated here. I think the grappling is going to be different now. Yes, Meerschaert does have really good submissions, but I think Khamzat Chimaev will be too much for him with his top pressure and control. His wrestling base is going to be a lot to deal with. I think he dominates ground and pound, even maybe some striking. Maybe we see Khamzat show some striking skills, which we do know he has. He's dropped fighters in the past. He's got knockout wins, and supposedly he knocked Alexander Gustafsson down in sparring. Granted, sparring is sparring. Still very impressive. Khamzat Chimaev, second round TKO is my pick. I know he's a substantial favorite. Looking at the odds, Khamzat Chimaev minus 370 on 5 dimes. If you're looking to bet on him, Gerald Meerschaert plus 350 over on Sportsbook. Definitely people probably put some money down on Meerschaert, giving him a chance. I don't see it though. I see him getting smashed here in this tough matchup. You look, similar height, similar physiques. I just think that Khamzat Chimaev is going to have that significant wrestling advantage. All right, next fight of the night is the co-main event of the evening. This is a fun one. Cowboy Cerrone, Niko Price. Niko Price came ready to fight. He's in excellent shape, looks shredded. He always looks in really good shape. Cowboy Cerrone looks good too. I think it's a very competitive matchup. I mean, if Cowboy gets into a brawl with Price, he is risking being knocked out because Price has definitely got a bit of pop in his hands. And he's very unorthodox and has a ton of heart. But I think Cerrone will play it smart. I think he could work a bit of grappling here. I think he will have a bit of the edge with his Muay Thai skills. And I think he probably gets a unanimous decision. But I could also see a submission win for him, getting this fight to the mat and choking out Niko Price. Because, I mean, Cowboy Cerrone is a good grappler. He just doesn't go to his grappling all that often. And here, I think he definitely could for an impressive win. But I know he's a crowd pleaser and will probably try to keep it standing. But I still think a victory for Cowboy Cerrone is definitely highly possible here. Looking at the odds, Cerrone plus 140, underdog on 5 dimes. Niko Price is a minus 140 favorite on BetOnline if you're looking to bet on either one of those guys. I really do think, though, Cerrone gets the upset win, longtime veteran, and I think that we got to still acknowledge his high-level skill set over the very tough Niko Price here, who's no joke, who definitely will make it fun. Now, main event of the evening. This fight is going to be very interesting. Colby Covington versus Tyron Woodley. Covington 171, Woodley 171, both the exact same weight. I'll be honest, I think it's going to be an overwhelming amount of pressure from Covington with the volume punching. I think Woodley won't really know what to do. I don't think he can out-wrestle Covington. I don't really think at this point of his career he can outbox Colby Covington. And I think he loses 5 rounds and gets dominated. Granted, he has a chance maybe to win a round in there, but from what we've seen, he hasn't really been mounting much offense as of late, and I'm going to take that into consideration significantly, and Covington gets a dominant performance over Tyron Woodley, which will definitely get some feathers rolling in that welterweight division for Covington. He'll probably try to work his way back into a title shot or, some massive fight. I don't know who against, maybe Leon Edwards, or as he calls Leon Scott. Maybe they'll make that matchup finally. I think it's definitely a fair matchup to make. Could potentially maybe a Nick Diaz fight, something crazy like that. Highly unlikely, though, there. But I think that Colby Covington is definitely trying to work towards that Kamaru Usman title shot rematch, which he may definitely get with just one win after the loss if he goes out there and looks very impressive over the aging vet and former world champion Tyron Woodley. Sad to see Woodley really has kind of, I feel like, diminished as far as his skill set. Maybe not so much, but as far as that fire that he's had, the knockouts haven't been there. The big shots haven't been there. After the Darren Till fight, it kind of went downhill. And, he looked really, really bad against Usman and then really bad against Burns. Granted, both those guys very high level. I think Covington is on that level as well. He gave Usman a very competitive fight at times, even though he was stopped in that 5th round. Still, Covington, unanimous decision win here. Let's check the betting odds out real quick. All right, we have Colby Covington. Best place to bet on him. He's a minus 270 favorite on Sportsint. And then if you're looking to put money on T Wood, he's a plus 280 underdog on 5 dimes. I definitely think that we see Colby Covington get it done, though. I don't think Woodley has shown enough in his recent fights that he really has any chance here. But all right, guys, that is pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the weigh-in recap, the final predictions, and the updated betting odds. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Awesome card this weekend. Cannot wait. Definitely will have some post-fight stuff coming out after the fights. See you all in the next video. Also, guys, like, subscribe, turn on those post notifications, follow my social media, Instagram, Twitter. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.